There's a feeling you know well. That restless stirring in your chest when you wake up and realize that even though everything looks the same, something fundamental has shifted inside you. The old patterns feel foreign. The old dreams feel small. And yet you can't quite name what's coming next. Most people call this being lost. But what if I told you this isn't confusion at all? What if this is actually the clearest signal that your next reality is already here, waiting for you to step into it? Right now, as you're listening to this, there are infinite versions of your life existing simultaneously. The version where you took that leap, the version where you spoke your truth, the version where you trusted yourself completely. They're not fantasies living in some distant tomorrow. They're frequencies vibrating in this exact moment, separated from you by nothing more than your willingness to tune in. But here's where most people get it backwards. They think feeling lost means they're moving away from their purpose. The truth is the opposite. That disorientation you're experiencing, that's your old self dying. That uncertainty you feel, that's your new reality trying to birth itself through you. You're not lost, you're in transition. And transition always feels like chaos right before it reveals itself as transformation. Think of a caterpillar and its chrysalis. If you could peek inside during the metamorphosis, you wouldn't see a half-formed butterfly. You'd see complete dissolution. A soup of cells with no recognizable structure, pure potential in its rawest form. That's exactly where you are right now. Not broken, not behind, but in the sacred space of becoming. Your next reality isn't something you need to create from scratch. It already exists as a possibility that's been calling to you through every moment of dissatisfaction you've felt with your current life. Every time you've thought there has to be more than this, you were receiving a transmission from a version of reality that's already organized around your highest expression. But most of us have been trained to ignore these signals. We've been taught that feeling unsettled means something's wrong, that not having all the answers means we're failing. So we try to force our way back to certainty, back to what we knew before. We grasp for the familiar even when it no longer fits. And in doing so, we resist the very transformation that's trying to happen through us. Here's what I want you to understand. Your next reality doesn't need your permission to exist. It needs your recognition. It doesn't require your effort to manifest. It requires your alignment to activate. And alignment begins the moment you stop fighting the dissolution and start trusting the reorganization. Right now, even if everything feels uncertain, your energy is already shifting. Your frequency is already adjusting. The thoughts that used to consume you are losing their grip. The people and situations that once defined you are starting to feel like clothes you've outgrown. This isn't loss. This is liberation. And here's the secret that changes everything. Your next reality isn't waiting for you to figure it out mentally. It's waiting for you to feel it energetically, to drop into your body and sense what wants to emerge, to stop asking your mind what should happen next and start asking your intuition what's already trying to happen through you. Your mind will tell you this is dangerous. Your ego will insist you need a plan, a guarantee, a clear path forward. But your soul knows something your mind hasn't learned yet. The path appears as you walk it. The clarity comes through commitment, not contemplation. And your next reality is already here, pulsing beneath the surface of your awareness, waiting for you to say yes to what you can feel but not yet see. This is why you feel restless. This is why the old life feels too small. This is why nothing seems to satisfy you the way it used to. You're not being difficult. You're not being ungrateful. You're being called. And that calling isn't coming from outside you. It's rising from the depths of who you've always been, but were never quite ready to become. Your next reality has its own intelligence. It knows when you're ready. It knows what you need to release and what you need to embrace. It knows the perfect timing for every revelation, every connection, every opportunity. Your job isn't to orchestrate this process. Your job is to cooperate with it. And cooperation begins with surrender. Not the kind of surrender that gives up, but the kind that gives in to the mystery, gives in to the not knowing, gives in to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to have it all figured out to take the next step. Because here's what happens when you stop resisting the transition and start partnering with it. Your energy clears. Your vision sharpens, your intuition gets louder, and suddenly, what felt like chaos starts to reveal its hidden order. What felt like confusion starts to show its deeper wisdom. What felt like being lost starts to feel like being found in a completely new way. You begin to make different choices, not because you've analyzed every option, but because you're tuned into what feels aligned. You start to trust your instincts over your insecurities. You begin to follow your curiosity instead of your conditioning. And with each choice that honors your emerging truth, your next reality gets stronger, clearer, more accessible. The people who belong in your new reality start to appear. The opportunities that match your evolving frequency start to surface. The resources you need become available, not through force or manipulation, but through magnetic attraction. Because when you stop trying to make the old life work and start allowing the new life to emerge, everything reorganizes itself around your authentic vibration. This is how reality actually works. It's not fixed, it's not predetermined, it's responsive. It shapes itself around the frequency you broadcast most consistently. And right now, even though it might feel scary or uncertain, you're broadcasting a frequency that says, I'm ready for more. I'm ready for deeper. I'm ready for truer. Your next reality is receiving that signal. It's organizing itself around that frequency. It's preparing to meet you in the space where your courage intersects with your calling. And that intersection isn't somewhere you have to travel to. It's somewhere you have to tune into. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practical terms. You wake up one morning and instead of immediately checking your phone or rushing into your day, you pause. You breathe. You listen to what your body needs, what your spirit is telling you. And from that centered place, you make choices that feel aligned rather than obligated. Maybe you have a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe you finally start that project that's been calling to you. Maybe you set a boundary that you should have set months ago. These might seem like small actions, but they're actually massive frequency shifts. Each aligned choice strengthens your connection to your next reality and weakens your attachment to the old one. You start to notice that opportunities arrive with less effort, conversations flow with more ease, decisions that used to torture you become clear. Not because life got easier, but because you got more aligned. And alignment is like a tuning fork that helps everything around you find its right frequency too. But here's where it gets really interesting. As your next reality starts to solidify, your old reality begins to fade. Not dramatically or destructively, but gently, naturally. The things that no longer serve you lose their appeal. The relationships that were based on who you used to be either evolve or dissolve. The habits that kept you stuck start to feel foreign, almost impossible to maintain. This can be disorienting at first. You might feel guilty for outgrowing certain friendships. You might feel scared to let go of securities that once felt essential. You might feel sad saying goodbye to dreams that no longer match who you're becoming. This is all part of the process. This is how transformation actually happens. Not by adding new things to an unchanged foundation, but by allowing everything to reorganize around your new center of gravity. And your new center of gravity isn't something you have to create. It's something you have to discover. It's been there all along, waiting beneath the layers of conditioning and compromise. It's your authentic self, your truest expression, your deepest knowing about why you're here and what you came to do. The reason you feel lost isn't because you've strayed from your path. It's because you're transitioning from living someone else's path to walking your own. And your own path doesn't come with a map because it's never been walked before. You're creating it as you go, one conscious choice at a time. This is both terrifying and exhilarating. Terrifying because there's no guarantee, no safety net, no external validation that you're doing it right. Exhilarating because there's pure freedom, unlimited possibility, and the deep satisfaction that comes from finally being true to yourself. Your next reality is calling you to be brave in a very specific way. Not the bravery of grand gestures or dramatic changes, but the quiet bravery of trusting your inner knowing even when it doesn't make logical sense. The bravery of following your curiosity even when you can't see where it leads. The bravery of honoring your truth even when others don't understand it. And here's what I want you to know about that bravery. It's not something you have to summon from nothing. It's already there inside you. It's what's been stirring in your chest, making you restless, making you question everything. That stirring isn't anxiety, it's activation. Your soul recognizing that it's time to stop hiding and start expressing. Time to stop surviving and start thriving. Time to stop settling and start soaring. Your next reality isn't just a different version of your current life with a few improvements. It's a completely different frequency of existence. One where you operate from trust instead of fear, where you create from inspiration instead of obligation, where you connect from authenticity instead of performance, where you contribute from your gifts instead of your wounds. This reality is already here. It's already available. It's already calling your name. The only question is whether you're ready to answer. Whether you're ready to stop asking permission and start taking ownership. Whether you're ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start recognizing that this moment, right now, is already perfect for taking the next step. Because here's the truth about timing. Your next reality isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to be willing. Willing to step into the unknown. Willing to trust the process, willing to let go of who you were in order to become who you're meant to be. And that willingness doesn't have to be complete or permanent. It just has to be present. Present enough to take one conscious breath, present enough to make one aligned choice, present enough to listen to one whisper of intuition and actually follow it. Your next reality is closer than you think. It's not years away or months away. It's one shift in perspective away, one moment of trust away, one brave decision away. It's been waiting for you to stop looking for it outside yourself and start recognizing it within yourself. Because you are not separate from your next reality. You are not trying to reach something distant or foreign. You are aligning with something that's already here, already part of you, already woven into the fabric of who you truly are. Your next reality isn't your destination. It's your recognition, your remembering, your return to the frequency of your authentic self. And as you return to that frequency, everything around you begins to reflect it back. The world doesn't change first, and then you respond. You change first, and then the world responds. You shift your frequency, and reality reorganizes itself to match. You embody your truth, and life restructures itself around that truth. This is how transformation actually works. This is how your next reality becomes your current reality, not through force or will or endless planning, but through alignment, recognition, and the courage to be who you already are beneath all the layers of who you thought you had to be. So if you're feeling lost right now, take a breath and consider this. What if you're not lost at all? What if you're exactly where you need to be for your next reality to emerge through you? What if this moment of not knowing is actually the doorway to knowing yourself more deeply than ever before? Your next reality is here. It's been here all along, and it's ready for you to step into it the moment you're ready to stop looking for it and start being it. The moment you're ready to stop trying to become someone new and start recognizing who you've always been. The moment you're ready to trust that feeling lost is just another way of being found. Comment below with the words, "I am ready," if something in you has stirred during this transmission. If you feel the call to stop waiting and start walking. If you're ready to let your next reality stop being a someday dream and start being your right now truth. Because your willingness to claim it is all it needs to fully emerge. And the world is waiting to see what you've come here to create when you finally stop hiding and start shining.